everyone's day is off to a magical start. Today we wanted to stop in and share with you our thoughts on the Disney dining plan. We get so many questions, guys. We're like the go-to Disney gurus or vets in our little family or community because we've been so many times. I think in a previous video we actually mentioned that we've been to Disney some 44 times. So people often come to us for advice, and we don't have a problem with it. We're here to help. But one question that we get quite often is the Disney dining plan actually worth it, babe? So how should we approach it today? How should we approach it?
So we do consider ourselves, quote unquote, we're pretty good at it. But I will say, we've never actually done the Disney dining plan.
Did we show them our new shirts?
Oh yeah, we have the Donald Duck.
Someone asked in a previous video where we get our t-shirts from. We get all of our Disney t-shirts from Target. Yep. You know, so far $10 at Target, but yeah, I love this stuff.
So this is an area where ironically we've never used the dining plan. Now we have friends that have used it, and we'll talk about what they said about it in the video. But I think the best way to do it, since we haven't used it, is to actually walk them through the process interactively of how you book the dining plan, and how it's also, when you talk about the dining plans, it's bundled with a lot of other stuff. So there's a whole Magic Your Way vacation package that you have to bundle with the dining plan, and we've never booked that either.
I'm already getting confused.
Yeah, so I think we're just gonna have to take you guys through the process on the website of booking the dining plan, and let's see what comes out.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at it virtually.
So a great place to start, you can just go in and Google Disney dining plans, frequently asked questions. So this is a great website to start at. And the first thing that you have to understand about a dining plan is that it is included with the Magic Your Way packages. So Magic Your Way are a set of Disney vacation packages. It basically bundles in hotel stays, theme park tickets, and you get some discounts.
So you can't get it separately.
You cannot get the Disney dining plan separately.
Bummer.
So before we even talk about the Disney dining plan, first we got to talk about the Magic Your Way vacation packages, because you know it doesn't make sense to talk about the dining plan if you're not getting a vacation package. So definitely check out the Magic Your Way vacation packages. Here's a great website, and we're going to break this down, but they've got some examples here of, you know, typical room and ticket prices. So, you know, a basic room and ticket package for a 6-night, 7-day vacation at a Disney Value Resort, which are your more affordable all-star resorts, Pop Century, they typically run between $120 and $200 a night. And you can see some of the package prices here. And we're actually going to get into some of these specific packages here in a moment, but you guys can kind of see, you know, what this looks like. So the first thing you got to think about is, are you the type of Disney vacationer that is looking for a package that is inclusive, that includes a Disney hotel, theme park tickets, and specific discounts? So this is a little bit more structured. You don't have as much freedom.
Right. And so, babe, I know in a previous video we talked about, you know, some of the hotels that are kind of on Disney property for, you know, families of a larger size. So one thing to keep in mind also is the fact that in order to get the Disney dining plan, you will need to be staying on Disney property.
On Disney property. Thank you for breaking that down. Absolutely. So that's what we're getting to. Yeah, you need to be staying at a Disney hotel. So let's look at, and so first we got to look at a package, and then we'll look at the dining plan that goes with it. So here we see the 2017 Magic Your Way packages, and they break it down. Disney does a good job of breaking it down into different price points. So let's say we're just going to do the very basic quick service dining. So they'll talk about like quick service and table service. Table service restaurant is generally a restaurant that has like waiters.
Right, like your Be Our Guest, you know, your more fancier, I guess, Disney restaurants, if you will.
And can you kind of break down for the table service restaurants the situation with reservations?
All right. So again, with your more popular Disney restaurants, let's say, you know, Be Our Guest, we'll take that one, use it as an example. Those particular restaurants can have a wait time, not necessarily a wait time, but Well, I guess I could say wait time. If you're trying to make a reservation, you have a trip coming up in the next couple of months, you may want to go ahead and jump in there and go ahead and make that reservation, because you could find yourself not being able to do so because so many people are trying to get in there during their stay as well. So you want to make sure you plan out your reservations
in advance.
There
are certain restaurants that are extremely popular. The one that comes to mind for me, so you talked about Be Our Guest in Magic Kingdom, very popular. Sci-Fi Dine-In.
Oh, yes. We actually love that one too, but it's really hard to get in there. Not sure if you guys are familiar with that one, but over at Hollywood Studios, it's like a drive-in car situation. Is that the one we were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's designed to mimic an old-fashioned drive-in movie theater.
Yeah.
So it's very popular.
Yeah. You're actually sitting in cars and watching a movie.
Yeah. Retro sci-fi movie. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. So what we've done is we're looking at the 2017 Magic Your Way package, and this is the one that includes quick service dining. So this isn't any, restaurants with waiters. This is you walk up, you get your meal, you walk away. So it's kind of like their fast food restaurants.
Okay.
And as we look at this, you'll see some things. One, it does include things like vouchers for miniature golf. So you got to think about, do I want to do miniature golf? Are you going to use these types of features? If you're not going to be organized or have time enough to do something like miniature golf, then you need to think about whether or not it's worth it doing this.
I know, guys, that in an upcoming video, we're going to kind of touch on how many days we actually recommend you plan out for a Disney vacation. And so if you're going to get the Disney dining plan, and as you can see there, they offer things like the miniature golf, you absolutely want to be sure to build in enough days if you're going to get the plan to allow you to not only get your park experiences, but to also do these little extras that are offered with the dining plan.
Yeah. And that's the thing with these packages. You if you're going to buy one, you want to use the extras. If the extras don't have any value to you, then you might not want to use these. So for example, some of the extras here are, you get a lot of discounts. So they talk about, discounts at the bowling alley, Splitsville Luxury Lane. That's the bowling alley in Disney Springs. Mm-hmm. You get a discount to Sammy Duval's water sports center.
Where is that at?
We've done that. We actually did that. That's the jet skis.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't recognize the name.
So we'll do a video and we'll talk about the water sports at Disney, because that's one thing a lot of people don't use. You can actually rent jet skis and boats at Disney.
It's really fun, guys.
Really fun. And certainly, of course, this includes, your room accommodations, theme park tickets. You get little keepsakes, so you get luggage tags, and you pay for this per person. So if you call Disney, they'll tell you, hey, you've got 7 people in your family. They're going to say, well, the Magic Your Way package with quick serve and dining is a certain amount per person. Mm-hmm. And so if you get something like this, you just want to make sure you're going to take advantage of all these discounts. So let's scroll down to the bottom and let's talk about the dining plan that's included with this, because that's what this video is about, is the dining plan itself. So this particular package comes with the quick service dining plan. So what do you get? You get 2 quick service, let's get rid of that, 2 quick service meals, right? So you get basically a lunch and a dinner, and they're going to be at the really, the places where you can just kind of walk up and get your meal and find a table.
Have we set the cost for this particular one yet?
No, we're going to get to the cost.
Okay.
So let's look at, so this is the package. Now let's take a look at the actual quick service dining plan. So they tell you a little bit about it there, but they also have a sheet that actually breaks it down even more. So we'll look at the quick service dining plan. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't noticed, if it hasn't occurred to you yet, you kind of notice all the stuff I'm having to look at.
This is a lot.
A lot of organization to figure this out, right? So here's the quick service meal plan that's included with that particular package. And this breaks it down a little bit more. So you get 2 quick service meals, 2 snacks. All right. So basically a lunch and a dinner and a couple of snacks. What is a snack?
Right.
So snacks can include any of these things that you see here.
Here's a quick question. When you guys go on vacation, are you there to relax and just go with the flow? Or are you there to just really have to do a lot of planning and have to think about a lot of stuff? Just, we just started this video, guys, and already I am exhausted with trying to keep up with all of this. You're going to have to take almost a planner or journal to kind of keep track of all of this.
Yeah, and that's the conclusion we've drawn, right? So, full disclosure, we've never purchased a vacation package from Disney nor a dining plan, and we're extremely organized.
Extremely.
We put stuff in our Google Calendar. We break down prices in the spreadsheet. I'm an engineer. My wife's a former teacher, and even for me, this is a lot to keep up with.
Right. This is a lot of work to be on vacation.
Yeah. Especially, and you want to maximize it. And to be honest with you and to be frank, it's like anything else. Disney's a great company, but they're kind of counting on you not maximizing, and kind of missing something, right? Because that's how they're going to make, their money. So you also have to be aware, your kids are going to want snacks, so they get 2 of these snacks. And then there are certain items that are not included. So you got to read the fine print here. So like, your alcoholic beverages, which are more and more popular at Disney, are not included.
And so going back to the snacks, is all of this per day?
Yes.
This is per day.
Yeah. So you get per day, each person gets 2 quick service meals and 2 snacks.
Okay.
And the way you keep up with it is it'll tell you on your receipt. So as you go to your first meal for that day, it'll tell you on your receipt after you buy that meal how many meals you have left.
Okay.
And can you talk about the experience we've had standing in line behind people that are using the Disney dining plan?
If you guys have ever been to Disney, at some point during your stay, I'm sure you've eaten in the park or somewhere, and you have had the unfortunate occurrence of having to stand behind someone who is on the plan. If you are waiting to get to an upcoming fast pass, you may find yourself sprinting across the park when it's all said and done. The entire, just...
Yeah, so what happens is I remember standing behind a lady at Animal Kingdom, and I was at a quick service restaurant, and I was waiting behind her, and she was standing there with the cashier trying to figure out what she had left on the plan, and she was really confused. She didn't know if she had a snack left so it can be, if you're not organized, it can be daunting to try to keep up with.
And I think it's even daunting for the cast members also.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes even they are a little bit stumped. So all of this, again, is something to kind of keep in mind. Do you want to spend time in the park standing in line, haggling over what's on your receipt, or, how many points you have left? Or it's just a lot to have to deal with or contend with while you're on vacation.
So we looked at so what we've looked at so far is kind of just the quick service dining plan. So this is the more affordable. And you notice it only had 2 meals. It had basically probably your lunch and dinner. Or
and again, how much was that one?
We're going to break down prices because that's a whole other segment we got to do. Now let's look at the opposite, and let's look at the deluxe dining. So this is, the package that's the more expensive one. So let's first look at the Magic Your Way portion of it. So again, the Magic Your Way package, right, can be bought, and then you can buy the deluxe dining plan with it. So just like the other packages, the Magic Your Way package includes room accommodations, theme park tickets, luggage tags, and then you get, a bunch of discounts.
Really quick, babe. So what resorts fall under, let's say, the 2017 Magic Your Way package? Are there specific hotels that you can get under that particular plan, or is it just anywhere you want to stay for the cost?
So let's look at that. We're going to look at that in just a second. That is a great question. I think what we're going to have to do is break this down and mimic an actual, and I think we're going to have to do it on a spreadsheet because it's so complicated. But let's look at that. So this is the Magic Your Way, and this is deluxe dining. So now we got to look at what's in the deluxe dining plan, because we just looked at the very basic dining plan. So now let's look at deluxe. So we looked at quick service. This was the basic one. We kind of skipped this one. This is the basic. This is the one that's in the middle.
Okay.
So we're going to go right to the deluxe plan. If you're, really wanting to blow it out, you get the deluxe plan, and you'll see the difference in this one. Okay, guys, so now we're looking at the flyer for Disney's deluxe dining plan. So this is their high-end plan. What's included in this one is you get 3 meals and 2 snacks. So the meals can be a table service restaurant like you see the folks using here. This would be a a table service restaurant because they're sitting at a table, obviously at a restaurant that has, you know, a wait staff.
Yeah.
One thing we should point out too is you can, you know, Disney's made it really convenient now with the magic bands, and we've got to have a whole conversation or a whole video about magic bands.
Yeah.
But you can pay for these meals, or you can charge them to your magic band.
Yeah, so I think that's a great option here. You know, as parents, we have so much to kind of keep up with in the parks. So maybe being able to leave, you know, your wallet back at the hotel, locked up in the safe, of course, is a good option.
Yep. But you still have to, even with the magic band, make sure you check your receipts, right, as you get these meals, so you know where you're at for the day.
Okay.
Also, a few other good things that they point out here. If you're doing a lot of table service, keep in mind that gratuities are not included, so you still got a tip. If you're traveling with a large party, they're going to add the gratuity to your bill.
Okay,
So
and
if
they
you got
consider,
6 or more.
6 or more.
And again, just want to emphasize, you got to know what's in these plans. So again, you got to look at the snacks, you know, stay the same no matter what plan you're using. So, you know, snacks include these things. So your kids are going to want snacks. It does not include things like alcoholic beverages.
Okay.
And you can see here, you know, here's what the quick service meals include, and here's what the table service meals include. And what's nice about the deluxe plan is you can do either one, but you get 3 a day.
Okay.
So this also does include some private in-room dining, so room service, basically.
Right.
So this is what the private in-room dining includes. So we're back at the Magic Your Way Vacation Packages homepage, and on this website, you'll see they've got sample package prices, and this will give you a rough idea. But honestly, to really see what the prices are, you got to go in and book a vacation package.
And this is going to be just a sample vacation. So when do you want to go, babe?
So we're going to go from the 1st of July through the 5th of July. So around the 4th of July, very popular time to go. We're going to mimic our family. So we're going to do 2 adults and 1 child. Okay. And to keep it simple, we're going to do a more,
You know, affordable one of the
trip.
value resorts.
So we're going to do a value resort. We're going to do Pop Century. And we really like Pop Century as a value resort. Great value resort. So we're going to book this one. And it tells you the price is about $1,800.
Okay.
And that's with a standard room. So all Disney hotels will have different views, and typically if you get like a pool view, you know, you can see it's a little bit more. So the pool view is about $100 more. And we're going to get, so you could just book the room. We're going to get the package that includes room and theme park tickets. So you want to make sure we click this button. And then we'll just do the standard.
Yeah, we'll just do the standard view. We'll just walk over to the pool if we want to see it.
I kind of wish we were really booking this.
I know, right?
So the Disney website is going to do its thing. You will find, you would be surprised how often that hotels are not available a specific time of year. I would not be surprised if there weren't any rooms, but let's see. Okay, so we got lucky.
Okay.
So there are rooms available. Now, since we did a package, it's going to add in the park tickets, and you can pick park tickets or the number of days. And we've got a whole other video where we talk about the number of days on a ticket.
Right.
So you buy the ticket, and then you pick the park hopper option, which again, definitely check out our video on park hoppers.
Yeah, you want to check that one out. So right now, how many days are we there? We got what, a 5-day ticket?
Yeah, let's do a 3-day.
Since
Since we're only there a few days for the 4th of July, let's have a day where we just rest. So we'll do a 3-day park ticket. Okay. We're not going to do park hopper, so we're just going to continue. If you want to see why we're not doing park hopper, watch our other video. All right, guys. So at this point in the process, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us, right? And realize when you book this, you're going to have to do the same thing. So if your head is already swimming and you're trying to remember all this information we're throwing at you, just think about that when you book your trip, right? Because you want to make sure if you buy one of these packages, it's your call, but you want to make sure that you're able to keep track of all this stuff.
Right. You're almost going to have to sit down with your family with pen, paper, journal, spreadsheet, all of that to kind of keep track and making sure you get the biggest bang for your buck as it relates to this Disney dining plan.
So at this point, we've booked, just to review, July 1st through the 5th. So, you know, about 4 days. And right now, with no dining plan, we're at $1,600, which is not bad. Now we're going to add in the dining plan. So we can do the quick service. And just to review, the quick service dining plan includes 2 quick service meals, 2 snacks. It's the most affordable plan at about $2,182. You could go up a level to the straight Disney dining plan. That adds in a table service meal You still get 2 snacks. It's about $300 more. Or if you really want to,
blow it out.
Thanks for that. Yep. You want to spend about $2,900, you can get the full deluxe dining plan, which includes 3 meals wherever you want. So for our family, and it does the calculations by how many people. So basically for 3 people, 2 adults and 1 child, it's going to add $2,200. All right. So we're going to add this to our cart. And then we're going to go to done. And it's going to show us in our shopping cart. It does a nice job of breaking down what's in your cart. So far, we booked the resort, and I can remove this from my cart if I want to and repick it. We booked a 3-day theme park ticket, and we booked in the quick service dining plan. And our total thus far is about $2,200. All right. So let's do this. So we're at $2,182. So let's go to Excel. $2,182. That's where we're at. That's our price so far with the dining plan. All right. Now, if we take the dining plan out, let's remove it. It drops us down to, no, I don't want to chat. Thanks. It drops us down to $1,603. So what did the dining plan cost us, right? How much are we paying for this? And this is the type of stuff you have to do, right?
Right.
So $579, that's the difference.
Okay.
Which is not bad. So
Right.
so here's the decision you have to make as a consumer. Can I spend less than $579 on my own? And will I use all the different other features? Am I going to do the 2 snacks? Is it going to be the snacks I want? Is it going to be the food I want for my vacation?
Right. Because as you guys know, different parks offer different foods and snacks. Some of the things that you can find over at Magic Kingdom might not necessarily be over at Epcot.
Yeah. And we're actually going to do a whole other video on our food strategy, because it is a strategy.
It is a strategy
for vacations. And let's be honest, on vacation, you can budget for a lot. You know how much your hotel costs. You know how much your flight or your rental car costs. What you never know on any vacation generally is how much you're going to spend on food. To me, that's the toughest part to budget. So we're going to do a whole video on our budgeting strategy for how we plan vacations, especially Disney vacations.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So just to recap everything that we've done, because I know we've thrown a lot of information at you. We went in and booked the Magic Your Way package, right? And all the packages are basically the same. So you go through the step-by-step process and you book your Magic Your Way package. And then you do the dining plan that goes along with it. So you do, in our example, we did the quick service dining. Now let's look at a final breakdown of what everything cost. So in our breakdown, we did Pop Century, right? So we did Pop Century Resort, and we did it from July 1st through July 5th. So that's 5 days, right? Now, what we showed you guys was based on our family. So we did 2 adults and 1 child, okay, for 5 days. So if you break that down, so first we did just the tickets and the hotel by themselves with no dining, was roughly $1,600. And this is obviously American currency, and we kind of rounded some of this stuff, but it was about $1,600. Then when you added the dining, it went up to $2,180 roughly. So the difference, or what the dining plan added, was $579. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you break that down per person per day, so 5 days with 3 people, that's $38.60 per day. But here's something that you want to keep in mind, and this is where it gets interesting again. Travel days, okay? So if we're arriving on the 1st and leaving on the 5th, what time are we arriving? Because that affects how many meals you're going to eat that day. If we're arriving late at night on the 1st or leaving early on the 5th or both, you might not use all of that dining plan, all of those dining plan meals that day. So that's something you got to keep in mind too. So again, you really got to break it down and budget it. And just to show you another example, I did go back and try to book again. And this time, instead of doing 1 child, I did it with 2 children just to see how it broke down. And it pretty much broke down the same way. Disney does all the calculations for you in your shopping cart. So when I added an additional child, it went up to roughly $1,900. The dining plan went up a little bit also. So it automatically calculated. And the difference this time was $771, which we would expect the difference to be higher because we added an additional child. But you still end up paying roughly the same amount per day, per person. So it went down by about 5 cents per day. So $38.60 versus $38.50. So that's what you're paying per day. But again, you need to account for these travel days.
Whew, all right, guys. I gotta say, yeah, I've done a lot of videos with you. This is the one, I felt like I was at work. Like, if you're somebody that crunches numbers at work all day, like you're an engineer or an accountant or something, this is what that felt like. And we do this when we go on trips. We don't have to as much anymore because we kind of know.
Yeah, we have our little system.
Yeah, it felt like work. So just to recap, this was our first time going through the process.
And Eric is actually looking at
I'm looking at my notes. Yeah. You know, based on our experience, I was actually pleasantly surprised. It was more affordable than I thought it would be.
I was actually surprised at the offerings.
Yeah.
And you know, you get a lot of perks with it, but it is a little bit more affordable than we actually expected.
Yeah, but I think the downsides again come from friends we've talked to that have kind of said they didn't feel like they could use it as much as they could. And then again, we've talked about this, the frustrations. You've seen people standing behind line.
Yeah, if you're ever in line behind someone who is actually on the Disney dining plan, you kind of, you know, you can kind of see the frustrations with it.
If you don't keep track of it, it's confusing.
It can be a little bit confusing, and we've actually seen where the cast members not only breathe a sigh of relief when you tell them you're not on the Disney dining plan, but they oftentimes too show a little bit of frustration when they're having to deal with some of the guests who are actually on the plan.
So do the math, kind of like what I did. And also another thing to think about, is it enough food? Because here's the thing, if you have little ones, that's probably, the 2 meals a day is probably great.
It might be all right for them, and they could actually even share, you know, depending on how small your children are.
But if you got like teenage boys.
Our 14-year-old could eat half of Magic Kingdom by himself. So him, you know, having to share a meal with one of us, or if he had a, you know, another sibling, would not be an option for us.
I will say another thing that's good, all the packages came with a refillable mug for your soda.
Oh, that's great.
So that can be a good or bad thing, just to, you know, if you're trying to wean them off soda. But that is a nice value. You know, some strategies to think about if you do buy it. You might have to supplement it with an additional snack. You talked about sharing. We've seen families kind of share meals.
And in a future video, or it might already be up here on Disney on a Dime, we'll talk about, you know, bringing food into the parks. You know, you do have to get your backpacks and things like that checked at the gate, but Disney does allow you to bring food into the parks.
And lastly, so we talked about reservations. I did look up the fine print on the Disney reservations. So I'm going to read you verbatim what they say about making reservations and canceling reservations. So it says, each restaurant at the Walt Disney World Resort maintains its own cancellation policy. So be sure to confirm the policy before finalizing your reservation. And if you need to cancel, call 407 WDW-DINE. Or 407-939-3463. So basically what they're saying is, once you make that reservation, if you're going to cancel it, the restaurants really kind of have their own policies. But I think you're pretty safe as long as you call them beforehand, 30 minutes, an hour beforehand, you're probably safe. But just be aware, if you make that reservation and you can't make it, you need to cancel it.
Because your credit card is subject to a charge.
And according to this, it's a reservation charge per person. So if you have 10 people and you cancel, I guess your cancellation fee could be higher because they're charging you per person.
Wow, now I didn't know that one.
So read the
fine print. Well, that's it, guys. We hope you've enjoyed this little video on our thoughts on the Disney dining plan. We hope you found it very informative. And so, as always, guys, don't forget to